Hello, hi, it's Liz here, and today I'm going to take part in week 18 of Roxy's challenge. So Rachel over at Roxy Creations sets a challenge each week, and this week it's to paint and stamp labels. So super quick, super easy. I've already had a wee play and made a few, so really fun to do. I could just sit and make these all day. Yeah, so let's make a few more. I have picked out some bits of odd bits of scrap paper and some envelopes. Yeah, some scrapbook paper and some old book page. So I also have, I'm just going to stick with the three colours. So these are Ranger Adirondack ink pads. They were out for a previous project the other day and I just haven't put them away yet, so let's just use them. I also have some matching colours with in my Zig Clean Colour Real Brush pens, and I'll explain why I've got them out, and I'm doing it slightly different from Rachel. But yeah, so let's just start with a green one. I've got some water, some murky looking water. I should really have changed it over for you, but I haven't. So let's just take some book page first, and let's put, I'm going to turn this round to the cleaner bit being there. This is just one of those mats. Mine is really old and really quite filthy. So that's lettuce. I don't think you can get those inks anymore. I'm just going to dip my pen, my brush in some water, and let's just draw a square or an oblong or a rectangle, whatever you fancy. So easy like that. Let's do a second one, maybe a narrow long one. And why not another one up here? And the whole point, I think, of these is it doesn't need to be straight. It's all a bit wonky. They're wonky donkeys. So there we have that. Let's leave those ones aside and just wipe that off, and let's do some on this scrap piece of something or other. And this time we'll use the butterscotch. And again, we're just going to draw or paint rather, just a square, whatever shape you fancy. And we can maybe fit a long narrow one in there. In a wibbly wobbly way, but that doesn't matter. So that's three of them, and let's do some blue ones. Now, I haven't used the envelope pattern type paper from an old envelope, so let's do the one on the envelope. Well, let's do three on the envelopes, and this is Sailboat Blue. Just going to turn this, but let's just move all the inkiness away and get a cleanish bit. Right. Oops. It doesn't matter how thick your lines are, because we're going to be cutting round, and we can just cut right up against the blue, the lines. And let's do a long narrow one. Whoops. Like I say, we're going to be cutting round, so it doesn't matter that you go off. Okay, I think that'll do us for the paint. So we'll move the water out of the way. We'll give our brush a little wipe. And we're done with these inks. Now, what Rachel did was she had a nice fine brush, and she went with her fine brush and did a second layer, a second line. No, wait till I show you. But I've not used a brush. These have got very fine tips, and they're kind of coordinating colours. So I'm just going to do a nice thin line using these. These are also water-based. So I'm just going inside a little bit just to do my second line. And they're not exactly the same colour, which is what I quite liked. I'm getting a wee contrast. And the blue one. So I think the envelope ones are going to turn out really quite nice. And these totally don't need to be straight. The whole thing about paint and watercolour, I think anyway, is the more kind of loose you are, I think the better it turns out. Because otherwise you could just use any felt pen or anything that's not water-based. And you wouldn't get the same kind of watery effect, I don't think. So that's us done with the pens. Now we just need to quickly go round. And like I say, we don't need to bother too much about the paint not being straight, because we're going to cut them, well, as straight as anything can be. So you're getting the effect of the round the border, and that's when you can maybe tidy up your painting a little bit if you want to, or if you want to leave a border still, you can. So you could still leave a little bit of a border. And that's not even any shape. But I don't mind. I could trim away and end up with the tiniest 1 centimetre square trying to get it straight, and really that's not the point. Yeah, the green's nice. So then we can decorate the centres, and I have picked out some tiny stamps from a few different, well, from a couple of sets. and I'll show you them in a minute. These are just so relaxing to do and so much fun, because just pick out all the small stamps that you've got. So we'll keep that bit, but I'm not sure that I'll keep all these bits. Sometimes bits are just too small, I think. I'll definitely keep that. Oops, wrong pile. That nearly ended up in the bin pile. So you can see how I've totally gone off and made a mess of my painting, but with one snip we get a nice straight line and a nice blue border. Right, well, I think we can just keep all that on there. Oh no, we won't, because we need that. We're going to be stamping next. I was thinking I'd be moving the whole mat. Right, so we've got nine. And of course you could have mixed up and did some green ones on this and you know, some blue ones on the book pages, but I didn't, so right, for stamping I'm going to use my VersaFine Onyx Black, my VersaFine Vintage Sepia, and this random stamp set, which I got, I think, in a happy box or a kit or something many years ago. I'm not sure if Simon Says Stamp even does ink pads anymore, but it's lipstick red, any red, in fact any colour at all to stamp with. And it's just a case of randomly stamping. So I've got a little butterfly, I've got something that makes grungy, a wee grungy pattern, like a kind of splash pattern, I suppose. And I've got a tea stain, coffee stain cup ring mark. These, I have no idea where they came from. I think they came free with magazines. I don't even have any packaging. I've got a little mini tree. Again, I think it was in just a kiddie's box of stamps. I'm not sure where it's come from, and I'm going to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. I've got New Moon, which is from the stamp company Rubber Moon. I was kindly sent these many years ago from my friend Debs in America. Thanks, Deb, still using them. They've been well used. So I've got that, and I've got a tiny little key and a tiny little bird, and I'll show you. This is from Do Crafts Paper Mania, and it's called Bird Print. Now, I have had this set a long time, but you might be lucky in eBay or someplace like that to get it. But that is where the little key and the little bird is from. But just hunt through your stamp sets and have a look. I hadn't even realised when I was looking for tiny stamps, I hadn't even realised this set, and it wasn't till I saw the tiny bird and the tiny key and I thought, all right. So you might have tiny stamps in amongst, you know, sets that you've got. I also have my Stampers Anonymous Tim Holtz Eccentric, and I've picked out a few from that. They're just kind of, you know, numbers and random words and numbers. This one says reserved, tag, number, and then a 4.5. So, but if you don't have that kind of thing, if you've got tiny letters, then just make up your own word. You know, you can copy like this. It says tag number. Well, you can easily do tag number or something, you know, or reserved or anything at all that you, any word that you want to write. You can always use any stamp set that you've got. So, okay, let's do some stamping then. I'm going to do the green ones, and I am going to do a little bird. Now, because I don't clean anything, I've got to put a little bit of glue stick on my stamping block because I am super lazy. I'm going to use my sepia and stamp the bird. Once in a while I give them all a bath, but not until I've dirtied that side and that side. See, I already dirtied that side, but you know, I can see through them well enough. Right, so let's choose a kind of number 1, and we'll stamp this in red. So we're just going to randomly stamp black, sepia, red. Just do a mixture, and let's do some of them up and down the way and some of them, yeah. And for this little corner here, let's give it a little bit of grunge with the sepia. And I'm just going to stamp off the page, off the ticket. There. So it's really quite relaxing, because you don't, it's probably best, it's one of those times that it's probably best not to even think about what to choose or what to stamp, because, you know, it is supposed to be random. Let's have a black butterfly. And again, we'll just go off the side a little bit. And we will put a number there. Let's use the circle. And we'll do that in red. Yeah, and I'll still have some ink on this from last time. I can see that I do. There we are. A little bit of grunge. And we'll do another green one. And let's do the key on this one. And we'll put a sepia key on it. It would be fun if you had your, like, I've just got my 3 ink pads up there. I don't know if you can you see? So I've got my black, my sepia and my red, and you could actually just play a game where, to keep it random, if you think, oh, I really can't think random, you could just take it in turns to use, like, right, I'm going to use the red next because I've used the sepia. Let's see, here's a little number. And we'll use the red. And we'll just go there. Right, let's do the yellow ones next. Let's do the moon. And let's do the moon in sepia. And let's just stamp and hope for the best. Oh, Oh, I like that. So, what will we do up and down there? Here's a little number. We'll go up and down. Let's do that in black, because we've not had a black for a while. And we'll do it vertically. These are just going to be great in little corners, I think. Right, what can we do? Another little bird. We've not had a red bird. Right, and 4.5, why not? 4.5 in sepia. And let's add a little grungy bit to this. Oops. Yeah. Oh, we've not done a tree. A sepia tree. Now, you could wipe off the ink that this is obviously quite a cheap stamp that's just come from a kiddie's set. I think they were in a jar as a gift set, and you could always like cut that extra rubber off, and or you can wipe your ink off. But actually, I quite like if it stamps with a little bit of the ink round the square. I do quite like that look. Yep, and it did. You just caught a wee corner, and I don't know, it just adds. I mean, obviously it depends on your project. For this, I think it's fine. I wouldn't want it on, you know, something that I was really trying to be careful with. But for this sort of grungy look, I'm happy with a little bit of, and let's do yeah. Right, so that just leaves us with our blue ones. I think we'll have another butterfly. And I think we'll do a black butterfly. And I think I'm going to do really quite a lot off the page, and then a second one up there. Yeah. And then we'll do some numbers across the middle. Have I got a long? I'm starting to lose my stickiness. Although my hubby would say I'm starting to lose my marbles. Yeah. little bit of, now we've not used the the coffee stain cup type stamp ring, coffee ring, glass ring, I don't know what you would call it. Let's do it in sepia. And I think I still want even more grunginess. Yeah. Ooh. Last two. Right, let's see what we can do here. What have we not had? We've not done the key very often. So let's do a couple of keys in red. One there. Two keys. And reserved. And a little bit of this. And this is where you get quite inky because I'm peeling these stamps off without cleaning them. That's cool. Anyway, if your fingers aren't inky after a project, it didn't happen. That's what they say, isn't it? Well, that's what I'm saying. Right, this round one, we'll use that, and I think we'll go a bold black. And then we'll find a spot in our challenge journal to put a few, I think. What else do we want there? A wee bird, I think. And we'll do the bird in the sepia brown type thing. And do I want another number on that? Another wee word in red. And a little bit of grunginess. Yeah, okay. Right, let's grab them. Let's move all of this to the side and bring in the journal. And so I've got these, and then these are the ones that I played around with before I joined you, or before you joined me. I don't know which way around that would be. Let's just, now, are they still, yeah, you can see them, can't you? So, let's find some nice wee spots and use a few up in the challenge journal. This is the journal that's made entirely out of junk. This is an old pillowcase. This is an old piece of tie-dyed fabric. This was a tea towel. This was part of hubby's shirt. It's the chest pocket, the breast pocket from his shirt. I piece of old linen. This is a tag from a clothing shop. This was one of the whatnots that we did with bits of fabric, and there's a shop tag there as well. So completely junk for sure. There's another bit of hubby's shirt and a bit of the tea towel inside. I just love this journal. Whoops. So, and this is where I put all the challenge projects in. There was last week's. Remember, we made the painted swatch cards. So that was last week's. Right, so let's find a spot for a few tickets. I think there will be a few spots. I think maybe one here. So there's kind of yellowy tinges here. So let's see if we can find a nice yellowy one, maybe. Or there's green as well. There's little bits of olive green. In fact, the green is nice. So the green's good. See, this is now where I could probably spend far too much time. I quite like that one there. I think I'm going to just put that there. Why not? Oh, I should probably have taken my photograph of all the labels first for my video. Anyway, that's one on. Now, there's probably space here for another one, maybe a green one. A long narrow one, I think. That's quite nice up there. Yeah. I'm going to keep that in mind and put that one up there. I don't want to stick too many down. Here's one that's got a yellow. That's nice there in that pocket with the yellow flower. Yeah, we'll put that one there. But I'm not going to stick any more down, or else I won't have any left to photograph as a little bundle. So we've got that one getting used and that one getting used. Now, what about this elegant lady? That's quite nice there too. It seems like the yellow and green ones fit better in this journal. I hadn't really noticed that the yellow and green was a thing. I thought this was just all quite random. Anyway, right, I'm going to put those two in, and then that means I've got lots left for another day and to use as part of collages and things. So yeah, happy with them. So thanks for joining me today. If you've enjoyed the video, a thumbs up would be great, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.